Eden Zero chapter 248 is out, and this was another good chapter, with the ending getting me really excited, as it really feels like we're getting into the real meat of the Universe Zero arc. And I made it very clear that I've been enjoying this arc so far, but I kind of didn't have the time to review the last two chapters. All it did was show us the operations directors for all four of the Cosmos in Eden Zero, and stating that they kind of need to deal with Eden 1 and Divine Mother, as well as getting us to the destination of Rebecca's mother, so we can learn more about Mother and find the pathway to Mother. Also, it's just nice to see Elsie and Justice learn about how they were in their previous lives, and them just cringe over the fact that they were a pirate and someone named Justice in another reality, so that was kind of fun to see. But overall, those are good chapters. But now this one, it really feels like we're getting into the real story that Mashima has planned for this, and the ending of this chapter really gets me thinking, and I honestly want to make theory videos at some point, but I'll save that for another time. Before we get into the video, only 26% of the people that watch my videos are subscribed to the channel, so if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. And if you're watching my videos anyway, you might as well subscribe, as you will be able to see whenever I upload new videos every single week for Eden Zero or for the Apocalypse or whatever series I am planning to cover in that week. It keeps me motivated to keep bringing you guys more content, and I just enjoy talking about the series that we all love. Now with that out of the way, let's get right into the chapter. So chapter 248 of Eden Zero, aptly titled The Yukino Cosmos, we get a color page of just Rebecca building a snowman. Cute, awesome, I like it. Now we move on to the actual chapter, with the Eden Zero crew being stunned as they have officially entered the Yukino Cosmos. I just like that the whole first page, just everybody just stunned at seeing all of the white that the Yukino Cosmos is, as we get a full 2-page spread of literally the Eden Zero flying in an all-white space, with only a few planets barely distinguishable by each other, with all the snow-white areas in this. Now, while I do like how Mashima portrays the 4 different cosmos in his series, with Sakura Cosmos having sakura petals, the Aoi Cosmos having like literally water and fish in the outskirts of space and having like tides and stuff, and the Kaede Cosmos literally having the entire cosmos be black and white like a checkerboard, this one feels like the most vast, because with it being just all white, you cannot see where you're going, and it feels like a less is more type of thing. I don't know why I'm lingering on this so much, but the fact that it's literally called the Yukino Cosmos means snow, it just fits that if it's going to be snowing, it's going to be very hard for you to see, as everything feels indistinguishable from each other. Everybody is very excited to look at all the snow. Rebecca sees that this is the place where she was born. Pino looks up how to build a snowman. Jin is just talking at how Laguna, who is a desert dweller, is going to have to get a bit of an adjustment for being in a wintry climate, as Hermit and Sister bring us to the planet Miltz, which is where we'll find Connor and Rachel, Rebecca's father and mother, which honestly I'm really glad we get to see her parents in this, and not just be like, oh, they died off screen. I don't remember if I ever covered this originally when I was doing reviews like a year ago, but I'm just glad that this was actually a thing, and they're integral to the plot. Rebecca lingers at the fact that she gets to see her parents again, as Witch and Valkyrie state that the Shining Stars are going to remain on the ship. And the Eden Zero lands, as we get some nice shots of the overall area of the planet from its atmosphere and the city that we land in, as we see this giant building with multiple clock towers all ticking at the same time. Rebecca's freezing, and everyone else is wondering why there are so many different clocks on this building with different times. As we then get a woman walking up to the crew, which is just Homura, Shiki, Wise, and Rebecca, and Happy, and Pino, being met by someone at the front gate, as they call to Rebecca, as they wonder that they've met this person before, as it is revealed that this is Feather of the Irrational Space Interstellar, and that she's actually serving as an assistant to the Yukino Cosmos Operation Director, Rachel, which is Rebecca's mother. Quick note, Mashima, leave Feather with this design. I have to be honest, I did like her design originally, but she was probably, along with Eraser, the weakest in terms of design from the Interstellar. Leave her with this, she looks a lot better. Just take notes from me, one random person on the internet. Either way, I like her design like this. I don't like her initial design when we first meet her. Shiki states that they met her over on Blue Garden in Universe 3. And she ends up saying, just like Director Noah, she can perceive distortions in time based on people's locations. But she can't know what happened in other worlds. Only the people who can observe other worlds, like Rachel, or those who have traversed timelines like the Eden Zero crew, are kind of able to see the differences and have memories of other worlds. And she goes on to state something very important and very cool. The clock tower that we see actually shows and records different points in time in various worlds, and that's where history has been diverged. As Rebecca looks up, we see Universe 1, October 7th, X492, which is familiar to a lot of us, and since this actually recently happened in the anime in Season 2, it's the day Shiki got shot, the Belial Gore arc, showcasing that is the day where history diverged and Rebecca used her first real cat leap to go back in time. So this is very important, the fact that this was singled out. This was the first real instance that time split off, and I think this is going to come full circle for this series because time is a very important thing in the series, so I really do think that Mashima has something planned for this, because this is definitely very important. Moving on, Feather leads the crew to Rachel and Connor as Rebecca's parents go on and hug her and greet her like the loving, doting parents that they are, as she's just telling them that there's no need for all this. But Rachel just says that it's been 15 years in this world since she's seen her daughter, and now they're finally together. Wise then asks Connor if he's a captain in this world too, but he says not really. He's ashamed to admit it, but in this world doesn't really have any piloting skills, as Homura blatantly points out that he's just an ordinary guy at this point. But he's not just an ordinary guy, as he has the biggest riz out of all of us, as he just goes on to just say that I can pilot you like an expert, my dear. Oh my god, this is so fucking stupid. I love it. As he literally just says, call me captain of the night. Okay. If you didn't laugh at this, I swear, Connor has my respect. And I just love Rebecca's reaction, because from we saw towards the end of the Karate War arc, and even now, Rebecca is literally that kid who has the parents that are constantly doing it every chance they get. That is something that happens a lot in like older shows, I believe. So it's just a funny gag. I kind of like it. It's gonna get old if this keeps happening, and I'm probably not gonna find that funny anymore. I just find this funny. Connor has my undying respect at this point. But now back to the plot, thanks to Happy, as he mentions that the Eden's One is heading their way. And it is stated that, yeah, they're technically still cruising through the cosmos. They are looking for the door to Mother. Shiki asks where the door to Mother is it here in the Yukino cosmos? As Rachel just says that it really is. Right here in this place is the doorway to Mother, which shocks everybody. But Rachel goes on to elaborate further, stating that they kind of call it a door, but all it does is mark the path that leads towards her with way markers, which change with time. And a ton of adventurers have come to set out from this point on Miltz to go and look for her, but not a single one of them had reported any sightings of Mother at that point, showing just how difficult and nearly impossible it is to reach her, but it is possible regardless. Rebecca brings up the point that since the doorway is technically here, the Eden's One is most likely going to end up going to Miltz, but Connor says that there isn't really any need to find it, as they'll never be able to find this planet, as it's revealed by Feather that Miltz is kind of a cluster of 7,000 different tiny planets, so there are literally like 6,999 dummy planets, and that if it wasn't for them guiding the Eden Zero, they would have most likely have taken years to find them. Now the Eden's One is literally a supercomputer from like 10,000 years into the future, so I doubt they're going to get lost, so they're probably just figuring out a good pathway to get to the main planet. I mean, Ziggy managed to get there at one point in the previous world, so it's possible that the One is still like planning things out for a full-on onslaught. Anyway, Rachel asks for the Mother Ether that the crew had managed to gather at this point, as it'll be used as a waymarks in order to get a more accurate determination of the pathway. And so Rebecca gives them everything that they've gotten from the last 3 years in the previous world, and a little from this world as well, as Rachel says that it is quite a lot. She places it in the device that begins to scan the Mother Ether. She then says it's going to take some time before it's finished, and tells them why not go to the outdoor bath to kill some time. It's Miltz's biggest attraction after all. As Rebecca and Homer are like, wait, you want us to go in a hot spring in this cold ass weather? But Shiki has his priorities straight as he says, look, we don't have time to be sitting back and relaxing right now. We gotta wait for this to finish so we can head straight to Mother. I know it's subtle, but this really goes on to show how much of a leader Shiki has become over the years, as he has his priorities straight. Yes, he wants to make friends. Yes, he wants to go out adventuring, but he knows what's important, and he will stick to his guns on his decisions because this is very important. They need to get there before the one to make sure that the universe doesn't end, even if it means sitting in a room for possibly hours or days on end until they get a pathway to where they need to go. But Rachel says, don't be like that. The hot springs could tell you some things about the secrets of the Eden Zero, which shocks Shiki and us, as then go into the hot springs. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's going to be incredibly difficult for me to go through these pages because, well, they're in a hot spring, and YouTube is very iffy when it comes to demonetization for those smallest things. So things are going to have to be incredibly censored, or I'll just have to use PFPs of characters to illustrate my point, and maybe just zoom in on certain aspects to crop out some stuff. But moving on, everyone gets into the math, as Rachel says that the Church of St. Fire is a church in name only, but when they still had a lot of power, she lived in a small country that was named Nox, where Rebecca was born, and where Rachel met Ziggy. As this shocks Shiki, Wise being a perv as always, so we'll skip past that. Rachel says that it was 15 years ago, just when she was running away from home, that Ziggy visited her and was really impressed by the waters in this hot spring, specifically the waters of time and the ether activating properties of the water, which obviously the Shining Stars are listening in through comms, especially through Pino, and it's then that the stars realize that the Spa of Edens that's on the Eden Zero was made by imitating the components of the waters of time on Milts. And even Valkyrie states that they kind of figured that this was on the ship from the beginning. But Hermit says something very important. Did Ziggy not bring the stars with him when he came here last time? Rachel states that no, he came alone. And Witch states that traveling alone, they should have been with him, which is a very important detail throughout the series ever since Ziggy woke up back in Universe 2 in the Eden's 1 arc around chapter 100. Because this has been a very important plot point, which each planet they visited, Red Cave and Foresta, they had no records of where they went, and the Shining Stars were not with Ziggy. Ziggy was always by himself. And in the Kaide War arc, we got glimpses of potential memories or possible different timelines with the Shining Stars and Dark Stars together as friends, family, perhaps even lovers, except for Sister and Clown. That one I'm still waiting to see what that's up with. But that's one of the underlying mysteries of Eden Zero up to this point. Who are the Shining Stars? Why do they not have memories? And why was Ziggy alone in his initial travels throughout the cosmos to go see Mother? And seemingly every single universe up until this point. That's a very important detail. Ziggy was alone in Universe 1, Universe 2, and Universe 3, if we can assume that everything is exactly the same. And Universe 0 now as well. But it seems we're going to be getting these answers pretty soon, as Rachel asks Pino if she hasn't told the Shining Stars the secret of the Shining Stars just yet, which Sister then blows up at Pino stating, is there still stuff you're hiding from us? But Pino says she doesn't really know what she's referring to, as there's still parts of her memory that she can't go into without further authorization. Sister pries further, but Valkyrie says, look, give her a break, she told us she can't do it right now. Rachel says that it's a secret that she can't tell, and that it's a precious memory that belongs to Pino, showing that it's something very important, and I'm very curious to see what this is. Probably something wholesome, but also kind of tragic if we know what Majima goes for with these types of heartwarming moments. But then, Feather notices something, saying that she didn't sense anybody approaching and how they got this close without her Venus eye noticing. As we then see her get up from the bath, with 3 distinct panels showing time flashing by, with her getting dark and faded out. As Rebecca's wondering what's going on, she notices that Homura, her mother, and Pino are frozen. As she realizes something, time has stopped. With the chapter ending, and the final chapter being Rebecca being the only one seemingly that's moving, with someone in all black appearing right behind her. Ending the chapter. We got a time assassin, my friends. Now, what I think is happening right now is either this could be one of the Irrational Taste Galactica that Eden's One sent over to maybe take care of things until they made it to the planet, or maybe we're getting a whole Universe 1 callback, because I theorized a long time ago that since the timelines never really changed, it was literally just splitting off. Perhaps someone from the Universe 1 timeline, somehow made it into the Universe 0 timeline to go after Rebecca. That could be a thing, because I do feel like Universe 1, Shiki's death in that universe, will play a major role in the story and fully explain more things. Either way, I'm very excited, and the whole thing with the Shining Stars is a big mystery throughout the entire story that I cannot wait to get answered, and I really hope it's good, and I have faith in Mashima that it is going to be good. And it's tied to Pino. As we all know, a lot of the things are tied to Pino, as she is very important to the story, and I just cannot wait to see what happens next. But yeah, Time Assassin, Rebecca is the only one in Frozen Time. Universe 1 callback with Shiki's death, which I think is going to be important since all time divergences are recorded on Melts. The 1 is on its way, and the mystery of the Shining Stars. And we are waiting on the Pathway to Mother to be accessed. I'm excited. Things are really hitting up for Eden Zero. We're really getting into the real meat of this story. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, with your thoughts, opinions, and theories of how this arc is going to play out. Who do you think the Time Assassin is? Why do you think they have time powers? And are you excited to see how Rebecca can handle herself without being able to leap backwards in time? I don't want to see her fight more on her own without these time travel abilities. And in this arc, we haven't really seen her fight all too much. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens next, and I am very, very hyped for Eden Zero. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more Eden Zero content. It really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make on this channel. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.